Okay. Assignment. Check. Last year's paper. Check. Outline. Check. Coffee. Check. Okay, this is a literacy biography for a class I'm taking, and it's a class where I'm going to have to do an extensive amount of reading in the various genres for various age groups, and I'll share those books with you on this blog. And I also have a Google Doc that I'm creating with the books I'm reading, and so if you want to see the doc, I'll link it with this video. And if you go to Instagram, I already have a couple of books I started reading on there. I'm going to add more. And if you're looking for something to read for yourself or for your kids, that's where you go. Now, this particular assignment is a literacy biography, autobiography, because it's about me. And so here's my outline for my students who I tell to write an outline. I'm not lying. And within it, it has the memories about reading. It has the people that influenced my reading, other media, and stories that stand out about my reading. Okay, have you noticed my thesis statement, kids? I ain't playing. Okay, now, my memories about reading. I moved every year. Every 6 months to a year, my parents changed housing. And so with that, I never had any like hard friends or, those lifelong friends. I I grew up thinking and knowing that relationships aren't forever. But your relationships with books are. And through books, I learned about friendship. I learned how to treat others. I learned there is an other side of the problem. You're not stuck in your problem. It may take a while for it to resolve, but you will get to the resolution. And so books had a very strong influence over me, probably more than my parents and more than the peer group. Now, the people that actually influenced me, there's two. Laura Ingalls Wilder. Small town living, isolated. I could relate. And then Danielle Steele. Romance. I love love. And Danielle Steele was the first to introduce it to me. And honestly, because of the moving, there are no people. And the other media that had an influence over me was music. I love music. I love to dance. I just did a jelly dance today because we got new jelly. Love jelly. And the stories that stand out. And there are two. The Color Purple and The Gift by Danielle Steele. And I'll start out with The Color Purple. It wasn't until Alice Walker said something to the effect of, it makes God angry when you look at the color purple and you don't notice. When I read that, we're trying so hard to please God that we never think about God trying to please us. And it kind of opened my eyes to religion versus spirituality. Spirituality is a relationship with the divine. And there's a give and a take, a listening and hearing. And then with Danielle Steele, The Gift. And there's a little backstory to this. When I was 26, I had just turned 26, my mother passed away. And with that passing away, I didn't know grief is your brain realigning to learn how to cope with the absence of that significant person. Well, when my brain decided to cope, it took out my reading comprehension. And I could decode words, but if you asked me what they meant, no clue. And I was at that point in time in grad school for English literature. Well, I knew romance had a structure. Cute, meet cute. You have a little bit of a problem. You have fighting through the problem. and you have your happily ever after. And there's more to it than that, but I knew the story before I ever entered the story. So when I got into it, I didn't have to work so hard to understand. So Danielle Steele was one of the people that re-taught me how to comprehend. And I think that's it. I told you my memories about reading. I moved every year, so books are my friends, and they still are. People are my friends now, because now I live in one place for a long time. Love you, people. Air hug. And the most influential writers, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Danielle Steele, and I think I'm going to add Alice Walker. I almost called her Whoopi Goldberg, but Alice Walker to that. Music is the other media that influences me, and if you occasionally, I haven't done it here, I've done it on Facebook, I'll post playlists that I'm playing as I'm writing, because if I can't write and I put the music on, boom, the story's being told. And the stories that stand out are The Color Purple and The Gift by Danielle Steele. So there you have it. Literacy autobiography. I was hoping to get this down to 3 minutes, but no go. And you know what? I'm curious to hear from you. What are books that influenced you, or moments that made you want to be a reader? And comment on the blog or on the Facebook, because I know this will go on my Facebook. And just let me know. I want to know. Okay? Bye. Until the next post.